Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Friday. It is the third day of May 2024. I hope you're safe and healthy, and happy Friday to you. I hope your family is safe and healthy, and happy Friday to them. And that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders, who every day are trying to save lives. Those also that pick up garbage for us, keep our places clean and disease free. Those also who make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help, rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and children that are victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of pornography and child pornography, human trafficking, sex slavery, prostitution, child prostitution. Double curses on the perpetrators, on those who profit, and on those perverts who create these disgusting industries. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. Nearly 600,000 men, women, children, families, and veterans homeless in the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There was a basketball game last night in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And the New York Knicks closed out the Philadelphia 76ers 118 to 115. What a game it was. When you're in the playoffs at this time of the season, we always talked about how the season is made up of 82 regular season games, and then you have the playoffs, and that makes the whole season. The best team wins at the end. Who's hurt, who's not hurt, who's 100%, who's not, is irrelevant, because at the end it tells you who survived, who could grind, who's ready. The Knicks were the better team, and they beat the Philadelphia 76ers in 6 games. I had expected it to end in 5, but Philly was resilient. They were very tough. Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid fought like warriors, and we wish them the best and hope they enjoy their vacations. The Knicks really did what we had wanted the Knicks to do. First of all, the boards. They had 48 rebounds. They had 20 offensive rebounds. And this is one of the areas they needed to key in on, and they did. Josh Hart had 14 boards, 6 on the offensive end. Mitchell Robinson had 9, 6 on the offensive end. Isaiah Hartenstein had 9, 5 on the offensive end. And then, of course, OG Anunoby had 9. The Knicks really played 6 guys last night, as Deuce McBride only played 9 minutes. The reason was the way the game was going, the Villanova triplets needed to stay on the floor. Again, DiVincenzo woke up and had 5 3-pointers. The thing that also I want to mention is I get pretty tired of people that are ready to dump on our players that call themselves Knicks fans. People was contacting me talking about, let's make up a name for DiVincenzo who hasn't shown up. Y'all need to chill out. This is our squad. And I might drop you if you start coming on my channel and talking about my team like that and calling yourself a Knicks fan. Really? You might be an undercover Nets fan. But anyway, DiVincenzo finally started scoring. DiVincenzo also played awesome defense on Tyrese Maxey. Speaking of Maxey, the game plan last night, and Tibbs did allude to this in one of the previous post-game interviews, where he said, between Maxey and Embiid, you have to pick your poison. And so at the beginning, the Knicks, during the course of the series, actually tried various strategies. They doubled Embiid. Sometimes they doubled Maxey, depending on what they were trying to accomplish. So this last night, they doubled Maxey. Okay, they were helping out on Maxey. They were doubling Maxey. Maxey ended up with 17 points, and he shot 6 of 18 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3. It was a very difficult game for the young man because the Knicks focused on doubling him, whereas Embiid ended up with 39 points, including 13 of 13 from the line last night, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, and he played 40 minutes. And so they had Isaiah Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson one-on-one against Embiid. And even though he scored 39, I have to give Isaiah Hartenstein a lot of credit, as a number of you were calling for Mitchell Robinson to start. You don't make drastic moves like that when you're used to trusting your players all season long. So no, Tibbs didn't do the stupid thing, did the smart thing, started Isaiah, brought Mitch Rob off the bench. Mitch Rob was the sixth guy. Mitch Rob ended up playing 18 minutes, again plus 7. He was 9 boards. We know he had a block, 2 steals. He was a defensive menace. He really is the kryptonite to Embiid. He really is. Hartenstein was, he's given his all. He did, as he did last night. Mitch Rob played 18 minutes. Hartenstein played 30, so there was your 5 spot right there. Brunson plays 44 minutes, 41 points. Brunson gets better as the pressure gets higher. I mean, period. Okay, he is the catalyst. Again, the points in the paint. If you look at the points in the paint for the Knicks in this game, let me go back and just take a look at that. I hadn't even looked at it yet, so I'm gonna tell you. I can tell you right now, though, they dominated points in the paint, even though they Philly lost the game. And that, I'm telling you, let's take a look here. I'm looking at the team stats. Let's go to points in the paint, and let's see what we get. And actually, yes, the Knicks were 42-34 in the paint. We'd expect that. Okay, so they dominated the boards. They got in the paint thanks to Jalen Brunson, mostly getting in the paint. And at the end, everything else was pretty close. Everything else was pretty close. In fact, the feed throws are pretty close, and the Sixers shot 96% from the line last night. The Sixers hit 17 threes, and the Knicks hit 14. But again, points in the paint, rebounds, defense when you need stops. This is the Knicks. This is what they did. They beat Philly. Okay, it's over. So we move on. Now we play Indiana. Again, part of winning a championship, being in the mix for a championship, is playing your best basketball in May and June. Okay, that's part of it. So the Knicks always start off slow. We get all these crazy calls for firing, and everybody wants to be a coach and tell Thibodeau how to do his job. And then the Knicks start to win in the second half of the season. They start to flow. That's the pattern with Thibodeau coach teams, and so they start to play their best basketball in the spring. Well, Indiana is playing its best basketball in the spring. As expected, they dispatched the Bucks, who didn't have Giannis. Without Giannis, the Bucks the Bucks at best are a play-in team without Giannis. Okay, that's how great a player Giannis Antetokounmpo is. So you don't have him. Pacers end this in 6, and it helped them. That win of that series is helping propel them to a new level. Last night, T.J. McConnell, who is the Deuce McBride kryptonite. T.J. McConnell is Deuce McBride kryptonite. 20 points off the bench. Obi Toppin, 21 points off the bench. And Indiana rolled all over the Bucks last night. So we're going to expect a battle. The series might go 7. It could go 6 or 7, this series with Indiana. And so I'm still picking the Knicks, obviously. But it can go 6 or 7. This is going to be a battle. The Knicks' defense and rebound are going to be huge in this series. Be huge in this series, okay? Indiana's an offensive juggernaut. They are. So, led by Tyrese Halliburton. They're missing Mathurin, but then again, the Knicks are missing Juju, right? People forget about that, but yeah, we're missing Juju. And if we had Juju, I don't know what we expect. We're going to see next season. But for now, we don't have him. They don't have Mathurin. So, it's going to be a very hotly contested series all the way through. How the referees call the game is going to be extremely important. So yesterday we had Kennedy out there. Kennedy's a good ref, solid ref, and the other guy, I forgot his name, one of the senior refs. He's all right, but Kennedy's a good ref. I don't know who's going to be refereeing this series, but how they call the games is going to be extremely important in how the Knicks do. First of all, they got to be consistent. So if they're consistently calling it tight, cool. If they're consistently calling it loose, cool. But they got to be consistent, whichever side they are. If they allow it to be aggressive and physical, The Knicks going to win this series. Period. Okay? Philly is actually more physical than Indiana. Okay? Philly was very physical. And we see what happened. Knicks, we got a victory. Indiana is not as physical as Philly is. They're going to be physical. Everybody in the playoffs is physical now. But the Knicks are physical on an elite level. And so if they're calling it, letting it be physical, I like the way the Knicks are going to go here. I like the Knicks here. But we'll see how they call it. Again, Indiana's an offensive juggernaut, but this is the NBA playoffs. And when you get the further you get down the playoff road toward the finals, first of all, the more physical it gets, the more half court it gets, the more defensive it gets, the more stops are huge. Stops are huge. As you guys have seen in this past series, when you need a stop, in the playoffs, it's magnified. It's huge. So that's why I say no defense, no bueno. Everybody's talking about walk-in bucket stupidness. We need stoppers. Somebody that can get stops when you need it, because this is where you win championships right here. So Monday night, game 1, Indiana against the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks have the home court advantage. Tonight, Cleveland is in Orlando for game 6. Cleveland is up 3-2. They could end it in Orlando tonight. I think it goes 7 games. I think it goes 7 games. And so the Boston is going to have a long rest here. Even though Kristaps Porzingis is not going to matter. Apparently, he's out for the second round regardless. So, and quite frankly, we kind of expected that. Okay. I remember earlier in the season, I had Boston fans telling me, yeah, you guys gonna get beat. And I said, they were talking about Kristaps because he had dropped 30-something on us in early season game. I said, you guys better hope he's ready for the playoffs, that he's around for the playoffs. Here we are. Anyway, it's April, it's May now. He ain't here. So that's going to be an interesting series. Whoever wins between Cleveland and Orlando will give Boston a run. But the Knicks are now in the second round against Indiana. They got to take care of this business. Of course, they got the right attitude to do that. For all of you guys so disappointed and I don't want to hear nothing about the rotations from y'all. Y'all amateur coaches, Tibbs know what the hell he doing. Y'all need to calm down. But I do expect more Precious Achua in the Indiana series, and I do expect the bench for the Knicks to play a big role in this coming series. I expect the Knicks to go 7 deep or maybe 8 with Precious, Mitch Rob, and Deuce. But it's going to be a grinded out battle series. I'm picking the Knicks in 6 with the possibility that it could go 7. This is going to be a tough, hard fought series. This ain't going to be easy. Indiana did not get to this point because they're a bad team. They're a really good team. Very well coached. Rick Carlisle know what he's doing. He's been there before. This is going to be a tough series. So let's buckle up. let's cheer on our team and stop tripping every time something goes wrong or every mistake is made, magnifying it. That's not helping your team. Let the media do that stupidness. That catnip is for people that hate the Knicks, not for Knicks fans. Let's get behind our squad. They're going to be ready on Monday night. Indiana's going to be ready on Monday night. It's going to be wild at Madison Square Garden. Let's enjoy the weekend. Be safe out there. So